Hey everyone, welcome back to the Vibrant Life Source YouTube channel and another episode of Vibrant Chats. Today's Vibrant Chat is with Dr. Ken Wilson, who is a neurological chiropractor, and him and I met through LinkedIn. It was just this random thing, and we started having a message chat on LinkedIn, which led to us having an actual phone chat, which led to the Vibrant Chat. And him and I share a lot of similarities in our philosophies, but also a passion for corporate wellness and the importance of having happy, healthy employees. And so that's what this Vibrant Chat's about. It's something a little different, but I think it really needs to be discussed. And he talks about his venture with corporate wellness. And so I really hope that you enjoy today's Vibrant Chat. All of the information about Dr. Wilson is down below if you want to reach out to him or if you have questions or learn more about what he's doing. And also while you're down there, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on further videos. So without further ado, Dr. Ken Wilson.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Vibrant Chats YouTube episode. And today we have a really interesting, intriguing, this is I'm excited about this one because the person that I'm interviewing today is Dr. Ken Wilson, who is a neuropathic chiropractor. But a little backstory. We initially connected through LinkedIn, right? Remember, I was a couple.
Yeah, that's right.
And we just ended up having this amazing conversation. And then we had a phone chat because we both are very passionate about corporate wellness and the state of corporate wellness. And after having those conversations, I was like, I got to have him on here. We got to have a further chat about it because it's just something we really connected at a level where, when it comes to corporate wellness. So, and I don't know if a lot of people realize that I do corporate wellness in addition to one-to-one coaching. So without further ado, I would love to introduce everyone, Dr. Ken Wilson, who's a neurological chiropractor, but also I would say your passion in life is bettering corporate wellness solutions for incorporating employees. And welcome.
Thank you. No, it's an amazing way to start a day on a podcast or an interview like this. So I'm definitely excited to be here. Thank you so much. I'm excited to continue our conversations that we had again on that first initial phone chat. We got along and clicked very, very fast. And I think our passion with increasing the health and wellness first within the community, but then maybe our state and then the nation, maybe the world. We got along with that as well. So I'm excited to be here.
And I think it's so important that those of us that have this passion about it need to come together and work together. It's not us all
100%.
having to be, working alone, it's like, and I think that's why we need to support each other. So I'm so excited. And so I want to first dive into your practice as a chiropractor. I think so many of us we have an understanding of what a chiropractor is. I think so many people have probably been to a chiropractor, have a family member, but you throw a twist into it.
Sure do. Yeah, sure do.
So explain the difference between the practice that you serve and traditional chiropractic.
Yeah. First, before it escapes my mind, you said something really good, and you said more of us need to come together. And I really think that strategic partnerships with leading businesses, organizations, or individuals specifically is going to be what really catalyzes this change in community and specifically company and corporate wellness. Because, well, our specific innovative healthcare solutions start where most people spend a majority of their time, which is in the workplace. Shocker. So, so the big difference in what I do personally now 3 evenings a week is very different from traditional chiropractic, because you also you nailed it. Most people already have this preconceived notion of what chiropractic is or what chiropractic isn't. And so sometimes, even when I'm talking with HR representatives or the departments or founders, CEOs, you name it, oftentimes I have to start the conversation with custom wellness programs, even before chiropractic, because of that preconceived notion. And so with traditional chiropractic, most people just completely categorize it into two categories, really. And it's quacks. I don't believe what you do. You're not a real doctor, right? Or it's squirrels. I just saw all this motion outside the window. That's why my face is bright. So I saw it. The RV is not going anywhere. It's fine. And then they group it into neck and back pain, right? And so I always tell people with all of my first encounters with them, which is usually I start things with a free phone call, because there's nothing worse than being on different paths with the practitioner and with the patient, right? If you're going in opposite directions, that sucks. And so traditional chiropractic is usually pain-faced or pain-focused, up front. And when you do that, you're missing roughly 90% of the story. And what I mean by that is out of the billions and billions of nerves in your body, roughly only 10%, and obviously there's give or take, neurology is crazy, but roughly only 10% controls pain. 20% controls sensation, roughly. And so if only 10% controls pain, I mean, that's what most people base their health decisions on in the first place. And so they're missing 90% of the story, which is where I focus. And the other 90% is on function. It's how the body is actually working. Right. Specifically, I am a nerd, right? If my wife didn't help me dress, I might look a lot nerdy, might have the glasses, afro and everything. We call it, we measure, we track specific data in our practice, and it's the neural efficiency index. So that's fancy ways for saying how well is your body utilizing its neurology and how well are you healing on the inside. So very broad, very baseline. That's a big difference in what we do. The easiest way to explain it is usually with analogies, right? Like, do you know a lot about vehicles or cars?
No.
So me either.
I have a very high level understanding.
Yeah, which is good. So that's perfect. That's going to work beautifully in this. And most people say the same stuff. Now and then I'll get in a consultation with like a mechanic or inside the workplace, usually a lot more blue collar workers. They know a lot. And so I don't use this example, but sometimes I do. But my point is, if you remove the battery out of your vehicle, how useful is it? It's not at all, right? And our bodies are designed very specifically, right? Our brain is that battery. And if you disconnect anything, any organ, gland, cell, or tissue from that brain connection, it won't work. So I always use this example, again, all on this first initial phone consultation. If you have your heart, and I use that because people are like, oh, dang, a heart. And we take a teeny tiny pair of scissors and we completely snip all the nerves that go to your heart. What happens to the heart?
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work, right? And you're not a neuroscientist, maybe, right? You don't study the neuroanatomy and neurophysiology of how the body operates. So how did you know that? How did you know the heart will no longer work? By the way, kids get that answer right 100% of the time. Usually adults are the ones that screw it up. No joke. But yeah, why doesn't the heart work if we cut all the nerves?
Because those are the connectors telling it what to do.
Perfect. Exactly. That's that information highway that connects your organ, the heart in this example, to your brain. With zero connection, there's zero function, right? Completely none. So now what if just the stress in life, because stress is everywhere. It's everywhere all day, all the time. Right. And that stress actually builds up on your spine and your nervous system, which is the air traffic controller of your body, the brain, the spinal cord, all the nerves. That's what has to process all this stress and adapt in a timely and good manner. And so if stress builds up on the spine, we're not taking scissors anymore and connecting that connection or disconnecting that connection, but there's stress. It's interfering with that connection now. It's disturbing that signal going from brain to body and vice versa.
Right.
What then happens to the heart? What would you say?
Malfunctions.
Beautiful. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. That's exactly what all usually the kids say. The parents go, low blood pressure. I'm like, well, actually, no one knows. Maybe, or high blood pressure.
Low blood pressure could be a reaction of the malfunction, but yeah, malfunction.
Beautifully. Again, and that's the high level that we're trying to get people to see, because chiropractic at its core, it unlocks and unleashes that inborn, that innate potential for the body to heal itself naturally without drugs, without surgery. That last sentence that I just said is chiropractic. since
Right.
it was born, since its inception. It's always been about the anatomy, the physiology, and the neurology behind that. So I'll stop there because I could keep going. Obviously, I love this stuff.
So that is, I think for a lot of people, even as you're talking, I mean, I know we're doing this chat for my YouTube channel, but in my
Yeah.
head, I can't turn off what I do as a health and wellness professional.
Amen.
And I'm
Same.
already thinking like, oh, one of my clients could totally use that. They need that. So I'm already processing that. So that's what you do as your day job or night job,
Yeah.
3 days a week.
Yeah.
But then, so I'm going to connect the dots here. So
Beautiful.
tell me about, so now that's not how we initially connected.
Correct. Yeah.
We initially connected on what your passion is.
That's right. I'd say
And
that ties in, but it's how
it does tie in, and that's where I
my
wanted
art.
to bring the tie in to. But first, explain what is your other business?
Yeah. So I just recently partnered with a phenomenal Midwest company out of Michigan. And our entire goal is we're an on-site health and wellness company, right? And we hire, we manage, and we contract chiropractors, neurological based chiropractors, like what I just said specifically, and other healthcare professionals to go into their local businesses and serve the people.
Right.
Because again, the innovative solutions to healthcare to really eliminate there's three big barriers to the United States healthcare: time, cost, and travel, right? And if these solutions can be implemented where most people spend a majority of their time inside the workplace, that can really, really help continually reduce, and then obviously I would love to eliminate those three barriers.
Right.
And so I forgot specifically what your question was, but did that go in the right direction?
You did answer it. And I
Cool.
think, both of us come into corporate wellness.
Mhm.
We both come into it in a different way, but
Yeah.
wanting the same end result.
Definitely.
And that is, my passion with corporate wellness comes from my previous career as a human resources director.
Yeah.
And then I transitioned into what I currently do. And and it's always been interesting. I think corporate wellness, and you can correct me if you feel differently. I think, when I left corporate, HR was in 2010. And corporate wellness was really still not mainstream. It was predominantly used to lower the group health benefit costs. No one really cared if the employees were getting the benefit. They just wanted the discount. And there wasn't a lot of companies doing a lot of the work. You kind of had to create your own, all of these things. And I don't think it was value driven by the C-level, the presidents, all of that.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. Now, fast forward 10, 11 years, we're in the midst, maybe on the other side of a global pandemic. And I think the value of a corporate wellness solution, and I think organizations, C-level in particular, are starting to connect the dot between happy, healthy employees and their families and their bottom line.
Goodness, absolutely. It's no joke today, or it's not joke, wrong word, total wrong word, secret. It's no secret today that healthier, safer, more engaged, you said happier employees are higher performing, and they're better for your workplace, right? They're going to be more active. They're cognitively going to be there, more present. So there's going to be higher presenteeism, also less absenteeism. We'll get to that in a minute, probably.
Right.
But yeah, it's no secret. I completely agree. Today's, you can go.
And I think more and more employees, and again, you're in the Michigan, I'm in the Seattle area. So the The workplace landscape might look a little different. I'm
Yep.
in tech land,
Yeah.
and, I will tell you, I may not have been doing HR for the last 10 years, but I'm still very aware of what's happening. And
I
I'll tell
bet.
you that when people are looking to go to a company, yes, they're
Mhm.
looking at the benefit package, but they're also looking at the company culture has become very important. And your corporate wellness solution affects your culture.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
100%.
and more people are looking to that. What do you offer? Let's be realistic. I mean, like, I know for a fact, I mean, there's many companies here. I mean, obviously we have Amazon, we have Microsoft, we got Starbucks, we got T-Mobile here.
Yeah.
And many of those organizations on campus have everything on campus with the
Yeah.
intention that employees stay on campus
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
not only do their dry cleaning, get a haircut, eat lunch, but also get a massage,
Yeah.
be a chiropractor, work
Mhm.
out. And so they're creating a culture.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
I
that's
I
what
think
we, in each of our own ways, are bringing to them. And I think it's it's becoming more and more of a trend as the dots are getting connected and we're understanding. I mean, any corporation knows that their biggest and most important asset is the employee.
hopefully
And
they
most
understand that.
expensive,
Yeah.
by the way,
Well,
most expensive
yeah.
asset.
Yeah. Definitely.
But if you are not taking care of your assets, you are not being a good business owner.
You're not being a good steward, which is another focus with the company I partnered with, is we want to help those owners, the CEOs, the management team, the board, you name it, the controllers. We want them to be good stewards of their businesses. And we
Right,
only seek to partner with those who strive to create a culture of excellence,
right,
right? Because culture is and always has been a top down approach,
right,
right? From CEO to janitor. Like everyone's, first of all, held to here, and they're all held to the same standard. But let's say it's a company gym. That's not what we do, but let's say it's a company gym.
yeah,
If the janitor is going by and he sees the founder getting a workout on, right?
right,
Maybe he's like, "Oh wow, like that's cool. I didn't know it was buy-in, right?" And um, with the team we have, it's a phenomenal team, by the way, none like it. It's everything. Whenever we're in let's say a consultation call with companies that might become clients, we always tell them there needs to be buy-in from management,
right,
meaning the John Maxwell said this really good because he has a lot of programs and he's implemented them in so many different countries. But when he goes to a different country, he tells the ambassadors or the CEOs, the owners, doesn't matter. He says, there's only one thing I look for to know if this program is going to be a success. And it's the same exact thing that we tell our potential clients as well.
right,
If the management team purchases the program, buys all the things, and then just gives it to the employees or says, "Hey guys, do this," but they don't do it, it's not going to be a success in the long run.
right.
But if they buy it, if they buy in, they do it, they receive the results as well, and it's well known. That becomes ingrained and intertwined, interwoven, braided
All the
into the
above.
company culture, all the above, right?
Right,
And so
right.
that's culture, right? I actually just did yesterday or this morning, I don't know, I'm becoming more active on LinkedIn, but I just did a post on that, and I said, when you see, let's say, middle of the road employee walk into the water cooler, let's say he has to pass the company gym, and you see the CEO spotting the janitor on the bench press or something, I don't know, I'm making this up, that's culture, because that's naturally going to turn
Right,
some things inside you to be like, maybe I want to get my sweat on too. I don't know,
right,
but
right. No,
that's
it does.
culture. I agree.
It feeds the culture. And I think it really
Yeah.
does start from the top down. And, another thing in your three components,
Mm-hmm.
time, cost, travel,
Mm-hmm.
right? I remember, and I can't remember if it was in our LinkedIn message chat or on our phone call. One thing you and I we got on this, I don't remember how we even got on the subject, but I know we talked
That
about,
happens a lot.
I know, we were like all over the board. It was like,
Yeah.
but I remember we got on the conversation about low income
Oh, workers. Yeah, that's
workers,
right. Yeah,
and
more
because
blue collar stuff like that.
I've started partnering with some companies myself that only have blue collar workers.
Same. Yeah.
And that's a very different, and it's been an interesting process for me in that I'm thinking, oh, everything I do easily translates to them. Oh, yeah, yeah. But then I did not realize that no, it doesn't,
Yeah.
because that, I don't want to put them, I don't want to categorize them, but that group, I feel they've gotten lost in the mix, and I think in some ways they feel like they have, and even if we are bringing the solution to them, my experience has been, I don't know about yours, but my experience has been almost like they just like, yeah, but I don't even know if I want to say they don't feel worthy of it, but they just don't connect the dots that it's like something that's for them.
I think a lot of them have lost hope. I
Mhm.
think that's actually,
Right.
if we go to the intangibles that I personally sell and that the company, our company sells, one of the biggest one, it's hope to the individual inside my clinics, right? But then also to not just the employee, but the employer as well. And
Right.
that ties back through our entire conversation before on why it would do that. But I
Right.
think they lost hope, and they just see the only way to, maybe, let's specifically just say healthcare in this place, for this conversation, they tie it to like high insurance packages that they don't want to spend a grand or two or more a month for, right? And so the the companies that we have found say yes quickest to our program and our custom wellness solutions have been blue yeah, manufacturing, machining, engineering, lumber, construction, stuff like that. Stuff where it is more blue collar. And man, one of the biggest things, especially in management, is they just want their employees to go home at the end of the day feeling as good as when they got there.
Right.
But like what you just said, for a lot of these people, they might not even be showing up feeling good in the first place. They're already showing up lethargic, tired, well, maybe synonymous there, hurt, in pain, you name it.
Right.
Um, Man, with all these issues happening, and that's another thing with our program, is these employers can't measure what they don't know. You
Right.
can't measure what you don't know. And a big part of our solutions is data analytics, where that's the first part of what we do with these companies is we show them something they don't know. And we are the only ones doing it, and I can say that because no one else has our software. We developed it. So it's
Right.
easy to say that.
Right.
But today's, let's even talk blue collar. Man, corporate wellness today, maybe even across the board, I think I can say that. I might recall this later. But anyway, ideas change. Today's corporate wellness sucks. That's my doctor term. But it
Well,
sucks.
I think in many ways you're right, because yeah, well, I'll let you finish, and then I'll let you
Okay.
finish your comment. Yeah, go.
I mean, it's I've heard fluffy. It's superficial. It's non-specific, and where we come into place is we create tangible, measurable, data, science-backed results,
Mm-hmm.
like tangible things, hard dollars and soft dollars, right?
Right.
And so, man, like, it just makes such a big difference when they can see employee health and safety and performance from a completely different view. Because right now, the leading, as you know, corporate or company wellness businesses are all typically centered around three things: uh, pharmaceuticals, which is interesting, we won't go there right now. Steps, like just Fitbit counters or like a company gym. And by the way, I'm totally aware of the latter, the more physical activity. I'm totally aware of the mental, the psychoanalytical, and the physiological benefits of working out. I do it almost every day, right? Like, I get it. But there are things you can do, that smaller things, almost easier things to even commit to as an employee to do. Because let's be honest, like committing to even three days a week at a company gym on site, there's a lot that still goes into that thought. Like, you have to pack extra clothes because you're going to sweat. That's the whole goal, right? You're probably going to have to pack another snack, but then you also have to implement that into your day. Well, what if your kids have hockey practice afterwards? And I say that because I'm in Minnesota. The company I'm with is in Michigan. And so hockey everywhere here. Right. In fact, 3 of the Frozen 4 in the NCAA tournament were all Minnesota teams. That was wild. That was super cool this year. Anyway, I played for 14-ish years growing up, so it was a blast. But yeah, I mean, there's like, who cares if the employees have a stacked 401k if they just have to spend it on healthcare because they can't even play with their grandkids when they retire? What's the point? Right.
I mean, the whole, and I think we both realized when we had set up this conversation that we are barely going to scratch the surface here. But I think it's a conversation that needs to start happening. Corporate wellness is just not a fancy gym. Corporate wellness is not for the white collar employees. Corporate wellness is for everyone, and it is something that needs to be part of a culture. And and I can understand it from the HR standpoint, being an HR director and knowing that it's hard. It's hard to manage that because it's one more thing on that HR person's plate. And I will tell you, I'm so happy that I am not in HR right now. Especially this last year.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm thankful that I'm not in HR right now.
Yeah, that's true. We got to give them a lot more grace when we're trying to reach out to HR departments. Like, sometimes it's ridiculous.
They are getting hammered in a way that even I could not have fathomed. But, so I understand that that we're only scratching the surface here.
Yeah.
But what I want to just kind of wrap up is, where do you see this going? Where is your, in a nutshell, where's your
okay.
Where, and I know we want national change, we want maybe global change, but where do you see this going for you and your partnership you have with that business?
Beautiful question. I feel like I could vision cast for hours. I'm definitely a visionary, but I have a lot of integrative characteristics I like to implement. I like to get stuff done. But that's a big question. To create more accessible, convenient, and accessible, I already said that, I'm sorry, accessible, convenient, and effective healthcare, it's going to need to happen by maximizing employee health, wellness, safety, and performance by one company at a time, right? Like, it makes the most mathematical, logical sense if you incorporate these solutions where people spend a majority of their time. One company turns to 2, turns to 4, turns to 8, right? Communities are made up of individuals and businesses, right? When you infiltrate the business and you begin to create this culture, this completely different paradigm shift when it comes to health, because that's something we do with our data analytics too. And one of our softwares, we get to individually speak, I don't care how big the company is, 30 to 1,000, to every single employee that we take care of on site, especially with the platform that's an app, one of the softwares. We get to educate differently and create that paradigm shift, because that's where change happens, when it becomes part of how you think, right? And that's the change all these employers are trying to implement. I want to read something for you quick because there was listed change that happens with these programs, and it's basically the benefits and ROI to the employer and employee.
Right.
I guess
And
this
for
would be
people
more
that
employer.
don't know what ROI is, return on investment.
Return on investment. Sorry, thank you. HR talks, right? I'm sorry.
I know.
The return, the tangibles and intangibles, but these have been the results we've been getting. So when it comes to company culture, like what you're talking about, we want to create that paradigm shift.
Right.
And it's got to happen one company at a time, but it can happen because it happens every time if you give it time. But reduced injury rates and lost time, lowered healthcare costs, premiums, stuff like that, reduced sick days, reduced absenteeism, reduced workers' compensation and disability costs, reduced turnover and therefore the cost of, higher productivity, higher employee morale and loyalty, sustained improvement to employee health, improved recovery times, improved stress management, improved mental wellness, and more. And we can scientifically back these up with what we do, but behind the science and the neuroanatomy of what we do on site.
Right.
And so even if a company doesn't have the culture to begin with, and they want to do this simply to increase their bottom dollar, save more money, produce more, it changes the company culture within. We just had a client who changed management, and the employees are freaking out, talking to the on-site practitioners. Are you staying? I'll tell management I'll quit if they're not gonna have you stay. Like, talk about a complete paradigm shift inside of a company, and this is real. This isn't intangible thoughts anymore. And this is something I hope the viewers are still watching, and this goes insanely viral, but the average return we've been getting companies that we partner with has been 5 to 1, 500%. So what that means is every dollar they invest in us, we help them save or produce an additional 5.
Right. I mean,
what?
So it's like, come on. I mean, so it's like, all right, people, this really is the future of corporate culture, the corporate landscape.
Mhm.
It's not even about corporate wellness. This is the future of the corporate landscape. And so if this is something that your organization doesn't have, or a mindset that your corporation is not having, then it behooves not only the employer but the employee to reach out, right? And
Yes.
that,
Yes.
you know, so I want to make sure that I get all of your information, which I do, but, you know, down in the description box down below, I'm going to have all of your information because I want people to
Awesome.
know that, you know, you can
Thank
work
you.
with people
Appreciate
anywhere,
that.
right?
Yeah.
And so I want people to understand more about what you're doing, where they can reach you, and let's start a culture change in the work.
Amen. Amen. Yeah.
I think that is where we end.
Thank you. I'm good with that. No, I appreciate you so much, what you're doing. Loved doing this again right in the morning. It jazzed me up. Had my coffee, had my water, so my brain is just on fire right now on purpose. So
this is great.
Thank you so much. And to everyone viewing, you guys are part of this change. Like,
Right.
you are what becomes the catalyst of all this change, because let's say you're an employee, you're not an employer, right? What you talk about and what you bring to your employer, they do care about.
Right.
Even if they don't say they do, you know, well, maybe actually companies don't. That sucks. Change companies.
Because remember, you're the bottom dollar. So
exactly. You hold a lot more weight than you think.
Right.
Always remember that. And that goes beyond the workplace.
Right. Totally.
You're valuable. Remember that.
You are. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank
Have
you.
an amazing day.
You too.